woke up this morning, the sky was gray, another storm.
So hello and welcome to everyone to today's workshop, Writing Middle Grade in Series with Manon, me. So I already introduced myself yesterday, but again, I'm the instructor, a writer, a teacher, and a publisher. I love creative guiding people with passion into getting their story out there, especially magical one for young reader. In this session, I will show you my way of working with Sudowrite, which I have a wide range of working with Sudowrite because I've been working with them for 3 years. And then I have all kind of way, a bit like John Cresson, when we work together, sometimes it's like, it's hard to follow what we're doing. It's crazy, but we have all the plugin and everything else, and we go to town and we just like, it's banana. So let's do something nice tonight together. So please, during I'm teaching or talking, try to keep your microphone mute. If you want to speak or something, just let me know like that, or raise your hands. I will give you access. I don't know why this thing is ringing. Sorry about that, my phone was ringing. And that's what happened. We lose our train of thought. So be kind and supportive. This is a creative, judgment-free class session, and let's have some fun. So this is, some people don't know how much I've been writing, and I have a series of 52 books. I'm on book 12 in editing session. All the books are written, just the editing is what taking the longest. So book 8 is now on KDP as pre-sale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is also on pre-sale. They're coming out in June. So those are the book I have written, and not all of them, but some of them is there. So, but they're all my books. So that's what it is. All right, camera off. We do that because we try to not having you guys on our YouTube because some people don't want to have their face or their name. So I invite you to change, close down your camera, which I think I did the button, make sure that this camera doesn't turn on during the video. And again, stay mute so I don't have feedback and I can keep my workflow unless we have question. Next, if you have a question, raise your hands or put that big question mark inside the chat so I can catch it easily during I go down inside the chat room and I can find your, there we go. I have my co-host also. So hello, John.
Hello, Manon.
Is going to be, okay, don't move, John. I'm going to try to put you co-host. There we go. So John is here as my co-host. So hi, John. Thank you for showing up. Totally appreciate that. So at the top of the hour, you're going to receive an email from Sudowrite asking you about the feedback on this class. So we always like to have a few sentences to tell us how you found the class, what you like about it, and what you like to see in the future that help us to base our future class to make them better for you. So again, this is for people who seek a different workflow because we're not all writing the same thing and we're not all writing the same book. You're going to leave this session with a clear chapter book roadmap, a different way to work the way I do. So it's giving you tips and tricks and for you to get on your Sudowrite and work on your side there. There's a shared downloadable handout and worksheet that I put in the chat. I will put it again. This little image here, I really like it. John produced that little image and I kind of look at it. Actually, I printed out, it's on my wall. And I look at it every day to remind me what the age group of those books are about. So I find it's cute and remind me about these age groups. So that's something I just add there. Next, age group again. I always put down 7 to 13. ChatGPT says it's 8 to 12. Grade 3 to 6. I can even go to high school. I'm not sure in Canada or that work or in the US. I think it's over grade 12 when you get to the high school. So something like that. After grade 7, it's high school, right?
Yes.
All right. So, and I know that high school kids, they do read those books a lot. So, the number of words depend on what kind of book you're writing. It can be a short story, can go from 14,000. Most of the very short story we have, John, are about in the 14,000. Some of them may be even shorter when we come like a bedtime story is in between the 3,000 to 9,000 words is a bedtime story kind of thing. And after that, it goes up and to chapter book and things like that. Anyone else have any other way of counting words for those books? Or does that make sense?
So Amazon has a tendency to call any books with a chapter book.
Mm-hmm.
But they call the earlier ones like early chapter books or something like that. And that corresponds to the idea of the chapter book. These early chapter books is what Amazon calls them. And then the much younger is the early chapter books.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions so far? All right. If there's no question, let's go. Let's share. Sorry. All right. So this is the document that it's in the chat. You can click on it. We are on day 2. We're working in mystery and mischief today. So something which, like Nancy Drew, I asked ChatGPT a few authors and he gave me a few of them. And the one that I stuck to is Nancy Drew because I know very well Nancy Drew and how the story evolved. It's not, there's a bit of mystery. Sometimes we think there's a ghost in the story, but it's always something which is, can be checked by science and things like that. So it's very interesting, those Nancy Drew, on how they written and all the game they made based on the books. They also made TV shows on Nancy Drew and movies. So that's an interesting concept to go about. So you have this inside the chat and you can look at it. So again, the goal, we're going to build suspense with age appropriate. And what I said earlier when I was talking to people before I started recording, you can use the information from today and in a genre, you can simply say it's not a middle school, it's a young adult book. And the story will evolve in a different way. So that will not be like teenager in your story, will be young adult in the story. So the AI is very intelligent to know if you want to change the age of the reader by put it into the style box or the genre or even at other place that we have so many places to put it now. So on that, if you have any question, you can ask. Next, the group dynamic character video. Use Sudowrite for brainstorm clues, plot twists, and red herrings. Write a complete short story with clever reveal. All right, so introduction, we did that. Here I got you a few bestseller study, genre and style breakdown. So we have the title of The Mysterious Benedict Society by the author Trenton Lee Stewart. It's basically puzzle solving as a subgenre. The style of writing is clever and quirky. You have the next one, which is The Green Glass House by Kate Milford. That one is cozy ghost mystery. So we can see all the subgenre which work under the fantasy that we are working on mystery today. So again, that one, the style is atmospheric and lyrical. That's a style I don't like to work too much with. I find them a bit boring for the children, but some of them like it. I mean, the lyrical, it's not my favorite style of writing. Next is The Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library by Chris Grebenstein. Game-based mystery. I hear a lot of things in Discord about writing games-based books, so I don't know if that's in the same kind of style than that. That one is a fast-paced and playful in the style. Then we have The Parker Inheritance by Varian Johnson. That one is historical plus present. And then that one is emotional and grounded. So if historical, obviously, and at the present, using the present today, that makes sense that it's emotional and grounded. Then the last one is the Westing game, Ellen Raskin, classic puzzle mystery. So puzzle solving, classic puzzle mystery. That one is satirical and layered. So that might be something in the future. I will probably go and play with that. I wonder what that looked like, a layered kind of style writing. Anyone use that layered kind of style? No?
I'm not sure what it's referring to.
That's the thing. That's why I want to look at it. It's satirical and layered as a style. Are these example mystery stories, standalone young adult book or series? These are basically, I asked the bestseller study on the genre and the style and breakdown for the class of today, which basically mystery and mischief. So this is the answer they give me on that one. So it's just to give you a few examples. Yeah, Harry Potter could be in that, but Harry Potter would be more like on the one that we talked about yesterday with Mr. Jackson with Demigod's story. A lot of them are focused on series, yeah. All right, next. Okay, now we talk in the action of that class we have today, that session. So basically, one of the things that I ask to get some idea on getting a story out, I asked for 3 mysterious or magical setting where middle grade kids might uncover a hidden truth. So this is one of the prompts I'm using, and I brought inside Sudowrite. So, sorry, let's get inside Sudowrite and see this. Okay. Ta-da, you see my screen, perfect. All right, so I basically took that little prompt and I went into my quick edit and quick chat, and the answer was, sure, here are 3 settings that could spark magical adventure for middle grade kids. So the whispering wood, a dense forest where the trees seems to talk, leave the rustle with secret. I says that's not what I'm looking for. Then the other one was the enchanted library. So I thought that's not what I was looking for today. It's too much in the magical thing. So that's probably the magical should have been removed from the question. And then it gave me the sunken garden. So I think it's shared in, if it's not, it's going to be shared now. I will put it in the chat so you can look at it, those 3 choices. So from here, he's asking me, do any of those resonate with your inspiration of some idea? That didn't really ring a bell for me for what I wanted to teach today. So pass along. Sorry. So let's go back into my notes because this is where I got all my little prompt. Let's get down. All right. How do I get the Nancy? It was a bit upper here. Mystery, middle grade mystery and magical. So here, that's why I ask a few questions in Sudowrite and inside the ChatGPT. Says I want something which is more age appropriate and a bit older than what he was offering me with those other kind of story. And that's where he got me the Nancy Drew one. And then he got me the Mysterious Benedict Société, which was a different one too. And then this Escape by Lemoncello Library. So you remember that one was one of the bestseller inside our little thing here. I believe it's over here somewhere. So right here. So it's one of the one that he gave me. Says, okay, now we're going somewhere. So when I saw the Nancy Drew, it says, this is that's my house. I know Nancy Drew. I can work with that. From here, I got my idea on how to get the story going today. Nancy Drew. So from the Luck School. So we have all that information here. So I got what make a middle grade school. So that's how I got that story that I sent today. I basically highlight the classroom along with the bonus. I highlight all this. Then I went inside Sudowrite. And inside Sudowrite, I went in first draft. And I put that information here. So if you look at this Sudowrite workshop, day 2, mystery, mischief, secret, with the three little story that I thought we can go from and then choose the right one. And I said, go. And I thought it was going to be, in the past, you were able to get like a class breakdown with the first draft. And instead of that, he gave me a story. And I thought, I says, that's a very good story. So you guys have it and you can read it. We could even base our class today on this, which is totally about, they tell us about Nancy Drew, right here, the Mystery Benedict Society Escape and Marcelo Library. So all 3 stories that I was basing the class on, they are inside here. So it's very interesting to read that little story that first draft did. So just as a bonus and fun to read and see what we can do for that. So, all right, let's get here. Okay, so I says, okay, Nancy Drew is what I'm going for. So let's get some question about Nancy Drew. So I says, okay, I need something about Nancy Drew. I want something interesting. I need to catch my reader. And I said, this is not the same workflow than yesterday. It's a different workflow. So, okay, so let's go for some questions. I want to write the opening of a scene in a middle grade mystery story inspired by the classic Nancy Drew style. The main character is smart, curious kids like age 11 to 13 with a knack for solving puzzles and noticing things others miss. Set the story in a seemingly normal school, library, or neighborhood where something strange has recently happened, like missing book, a code message, or a door that should not exist. And I said, okay, and I want more information and I want more kick to this story. It says, I want a strong opening line that pull us into the mystery. I want a strong protagonist, though the protagonist, though, and thought and observation as they uncover the first clue. A hint of danger and tension, so it's not boring. A quirky and supportive sidekick, because it's very important to have a sidekick. When the person is alone the whole time, it's a bit boring in a story. So most young adult and middle grade story has a sidekick to make it interesting. So even Batman has a sidekick. So light, witty tone with sharp detail. That I like the witty tone and sharp. Light for some character, which will work tomorrow on that. On the next class, we're going to work on different character. One which is quirky, one is mellow, one is light, and how we're going to get the story to get driven by those different characters and get the story built up. So all this, I highlighted, copy everything, basically, and I went in Quick Chat. So Quick Chat says, okay, let's get to something. So here's a title, The Case of the Vanishing Volumes. So books, and it starts fairly quickly, books don't just disappear, at least not without a good reason. 11 years old Lucy Hawthorne, oh no, we have a name that we see often, adjusts her oversized glasses and peer over her latest read, The Secret of the Sapphire Skull. Her eyebrow knitted together in thought. The school library was unusually quiet that Friday afternoon, the kind of stillness that made Lucy's detective instinct tingle. She had come to check out the new release, but instead she found Mr. Pumpernickel favorite mystery novel missing from his spot on the shelf. Hey, Lucy, do you think the library ghost is back or are back? Asked her best friend Max, who was ruffling through a stack of ancient encyclopedia like they were top secret documents. He had a knack for exaggeration, sorry, especially when it came to things that went bump in the night. So this is a nice opening. We have dialogue. We have a few information, so not losing too much time on that because it's already 24. And it's giving me a very interesting amount of words. It's in 1,218 as a start of story. So that was kind of interesting. What else did I do with this? You see, looking at, and you can see here, I keep saying continue writing. So the continue writing here, it's part of the chat. So I don't remember I did so far, but I did. All right, so we got a start of a story. I said, okay, great. We have a start of a story. Let's get even more information. I want a lot more information. So next thing I did, I went over here and I took the first draft again. And if you don't know what the first draft is, it's very simple. We go here in our project, we click on new, a blank document. When you have it, you go in your plugin at the way bottom, you get the first draft. So in the first draft, I brought the information I got from the question I had with ChatGPT. So write an opening middle grade school. So everything I had, go back here, I brought it inside first draft. So I have stuff here. I can have an opening and all that, but I needed more than just this. So it says, let's try first draft. So I do start in quick chat, and if it's not to my liking, I go in first draft. And I can also use plugin, or I can use the right button. There's so many ways to go about it, but I'm trying to show you one way to go about it. During our go not too far. Do we have any questions so far?
So Noor asked if you use ChatGPT versus Quick Chat based on trying both and seeing what you like, or is there a time when one is better than the other?
All of them. On one story, I will use first draft, Quick Chat, and ChatGPT. I bounce between all of them until I get everything I want. So it's the one which really pop in my eyes and make my heart says, this is the one, that's the one I'm going to choose. And when I have absolutely no idea, I will show you what I'm doing with that too. So, all right, in first draft, if there's no other question.
You're good.
Good. So I brought the same question inside first draft, and this is the answer that first draft gave me. And there I was very surprised because I got about 2,000 words in this one in first draft about. Let me see at the bottom because we can see the number of words at the bottom. I have to bring my screen up. So we had 1,203 words start of a story or a story that we can work with in first draft. Say, wow, that's interesting. Over 1,000 words in first draft with that same question that I ask here in ChatGPT or Quick Chat. So write the opening, He went very, very far in first draft. Go back here. So we have our first draft. And like I did yesterday, it was 1,000 some words. I highlighted everything. I did go and get John little camera prompt here, so image prompt generator. Got my generation. Then I got visualize, which gave us that cute little picture. And I love to do that because that gives me more sparkle and imagination to continue my story. So I know I did something in the bottom of here because now we have 1,000 words. And then I went even more. Question. So I read the story, says, okay, I like the story. We need a bit more punch. We need more information, but let's start with this. So question number 1, it says, okay, we have a few kids, but I want more information and I want more description to those kids. So it says, create 3 to 5 kids with distinct role and quirks. Example, a leader, a skeptic, a prankers. So, and I give examples. So Jewel is a jokester with pawns. Amira is a puzzle solver, love map. Leo is nervous but observant, and Sage, curious leader with sketchbook. So I highlight this, and as you know, you go in that quick edit, you go inside that quick chat, you put the question down, then it got the answer out. And here's the answer. Let me close that. So sure, here are some fun character idea for your story. So he brought me Milo, the tech whiz who loved gadget and hacks. He often tried to invent things and help the group, but they sometimes backfired hilariously. We have Tessa, the skeptical realist who always asks the tough question. She's practical and keeps the group grounded, often saying, "What if this is just a wild goose chase?" Then we have Finn, the adventurous prankster who thrives in mischief. He's known to pulling funny stunts, but always mean well, often getting the group into unexpected situation. Then we have Nina. So he gave me a group of kids with each something to bring to the story. Then it says, okay, and then he said, feel free to mix and match. So what's the question, John?
Your workflow is first genre, then examples, then what happens? Quick chat, first draft, then who it happens to, creating characters, which you're demonstrating now.
Yeah, basically it's what I want to write about. Normally I have an idea, like Nancy drew. And then from there, my brain goes into overdrive and I ask question. I want to know who's the bestseller in this, what the writer style is in that bestseller series. And I go deep inside ChatGPT. I can go and says, what kind of outline that they're using, what kind of character they brought in. I'm going to ask a lot of questions in ChatGPT to wrap my head around what I want to write and how I want to write. And I like to put my own style and my own twist to it. So I'm not going to copy whoever wrote Nancy Drew. I put my own twist and my own idea into the story. So I don't want to copy another author, but I like to base on the bestseller to one day get the bestseller book out there too. Does that answer the question?
I think it's a good start.
It is. Perfect. You're welcome. All right. So I have my little twisty 5 little characters. Says, okay, that's good. That's a good start. We can tweak it if we want and no problem. It says, okay, so please write all the character inside the story. So now I want chat or quick chat to go inside the story that you wrote over 1,200 words. And I says, just in case I missed someone, I want you to get me all the names, including the one that I asked you to bring over. So he says, all right, here inside that story, and he went and looked inside that story. Didn't look all over the place. He just went in this one, which pleased me very much. So he's telling me, and here you can see on my screen, we have Emily, and here I'm the one who underscore like this, because it's very important for me to know that Emily is a girl, Jimmy is a boy, and so on. So you go down and they all like underscore to know that I want to know their real gender for the story. So you give me Emily, Jimmy, Milo, Tessa, Finn, Nina, Ezra. And he says, these characters can bring different dynamic to the group and add a layer to the story as they work together to uncover the library mystery. Perfect. Says, okay, we need more. I need a lot more than what's up there. I need some weird stuff, some magical clue hidden in the school attic or the park. And I give a small examples as like a mirror that showed a past hour, a riddle in invisible ink, visible by moonlight, which normally is visible by lighter and the fire, but okay. Music box that reveal dust footprint. So I give him some fun examples so that he thinks outside the box. And like I said, my head goes in overdrive and I just get very funny question sometimes. So that's what it is. So I like this, and I went again in quick chat, in quick edit, and I asked the question. So here's the result. It says, all right, we could have a whispering book, a dusty old book in the library that whispers snippet of conversation from the past when open, revealing secret or clues about hidden location. The other one was a chalkboard message, a chalkboard that, when touched, write message or draw that seems to change depending on the person leaning over it, leading them to forget part of the school. Then we have the time-worn compass, an antique compass found in the attic that doesn't point north. Then we have a lantern of shadow, puzzle piece garden. So these, I'm not sure how we're going to write them inside the story, because it's not a story about ghosts and things like that, because we wanted to keep down to earth because it's based on Nancy Drew. But again, it can be a surprise. I can just read the story and keep working on it until I get what I want, and it might be some magical or some ghost, don't know. So I just keep on going. After that, I says, okay, this magical clue can be drive story forward and add an extra layer to the mystery or the intrigue. It's okay. So now I says, I want even more. I need some more twists in that story. So I says, give me a twist ending for a middle grade mystery where the clue lead to a red herring and the real secret was hidden in plain sight. So this is very important for the type of story that we have. And then that's also that the play that we don't want the AI to tell the ending of the book before the end of the book. So again, that's going to be make sure that that secret stays secret until the end of the story. So here the result says, as Emily and her friend piece together the clues, they believe they uncovered the location of a hidden treasure in the library, a long-lost book filled with magical knowledge. Following the trail of hint, they arrive in a library dusty old basement, convinced that they are on the brink of a grand discovery. However, when they finally unearthed the trapdoor leading to the secret chamber, they find nothing but old prop from the school play. Disappointed, they realize that the clue they followed were just remnant of an old theater production about the library history, leading them to think there was something more. Just as they about to give up, Ezra noticed something familiar among the props, a simple book lying on a shelf, sorry, adorned with the same symbol from the clues. It turns out this seemingly ordinary book is filled with the actual magic they were searching for, containing story and spell that can only be accessed by those who truly believe in the power of storytelling. The real secret was hidden right there on the library shelf the whole time, waiting for someone to recognize its worth beyond the treasure they sought. So that's kind of a twist that could work. So what do we do with that? First thing I'm going to say, one thing that we do know about our story today, so we're going the story Bible. We have nothing in the brain dump, but we know we want a mystery with mischief. And there, this is my style. And that I did go inside Sudowrite and ChatGPT and search and ask for more information. I says I need the proper writing style. I want something which is fun, easy to read. So easy to read out loud. I love heavy dialogue. This is a new one that I put down today. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. We're going to find out together. Heavy dialogue driven, because heavy dialogue and dialogue driven, they kind of work together. So that's a new thing that I play with today, and we'll see what that's going to look like. I also like stories which are character driven. I love my character to bring the story forward. So we have a mystery plus emotional stake, reader engagement, series hook plus voice, which voice is our character, clean. Clever prose with a touch of old school charm. Keep the pacing tight, and let time mysteries slowly unfold with focus and deductive reasoning and curiosity that teenagers should have. So this is my writing style that I developed today for this session. Nothing in character, nothing in world building. And I didn't want to have the same workflow than yesterday. So here, all the information about the story is inside our project. We have 4,048 words. I cannot copy that and put that inside the brain dump. And from the brain dump, getting a synopsis. So how do I get it? That's all right. Let's get what a lot of people are looking for on how to import a small project. So everything here, I copy beside the picture, and I brought it into the second document, the secrets in the stack. I copy everything into a Word document, into my Google document. And from the first draft to my question, to the twist, to the new character, to all the result with the example, I didn't took anything out. I just copy everything. Then once you get that, you go inside the folder here and you just says download. When you download it, you ask for a doc document like this. It goes in your download. Now you have that here. What do we do? You cannot import in here. It doesn't give us what we're looking for, because what I'm looking for right now is the synopsis of this. I could have used a plugin, mind that. I could have highlight everything and go and find a plugin to get me a synopsis or my story in reverse, which is one of my plugin, but I choose a different way of going today. So what I did, I went out and I created a new project. And when I did that, we got a new project. No, that's not what I did. That all I said import. Sorry, guys. Sometime when we are, no, wait. So I says, okay, I want to get all my information, but I want to import it as it is. So I click import it, and that's where you drag your information that we had. So you open it and you drag it inside the import document, and it's going to get that secret in a stack and get everything done. So it's already done because I don't want to lose too much time of that. So here's the secret in the stack imported the way I just showed you. All right, you can see here, all 450 words are imported right there. Exactly the way we put it up. Possibly that they changed things, I didn't double check, but the whole story is there with all my question, all the other character I wanted, the weirdo, all the information I asked is there. Okay, perfect. Now that's where the magic happened. Our story Bible. Now we go in here. Random is empty. He gave me also a different a bit terms for the genre. He says here that's a middle grade fiction, mystery, adventure, fantasy, supernatural, puzzle solving, friendship, curiosity, and storytelling. It's okay. Yeah. I'm not going to change my genre, but I can use a few of those and bring it into the other one. What I was interested about is the synopsis. Now I have words that I can bring inside the other document and work this story, or simply just stay here and work my story right here. So this is where I am with you, and in that class, that's where I stop today, as I'm going to keep going and do it with them. So synopsis here. It's very interesting that the curious detail of a 12-year-old stumbled upon a mystery notebook hidden in the library after hours, along her quirky best friend Jimmy, an inventor and doodler. Emily discovers strange symbol, code, messages, and sketches in an unfamiliar doorway within the notebook. Weathered pages, sorry. As they delve deeper, the two friends realize the library itself is hiding a remarkable secret. So this is an interesting synopsis to work with. We have our synopsis there, And they also gave us our character here. We have pretty much everything that we're looking for on our character. So we could go in and play with the character. So what is very important, I have all my proper gender, and I know what they are, like she's the protagonist, Emily Carter. We have Jimmy Chain, which that one is main character, who is basically a supporting character, and we can get them all. We could actually export them and put them into an Excel file and work them even more. Here we have another main character. So the text, that's probably the lanky 13 years old. What is Milo? Expect the problem solver, fitting technology and magic. So basically is working with our main character. We have Tessa Chain, which is a main character too. So she's supporting. As we have Mr. Finn, the trickster, the supporting character, is a male. Perfect. We have that. During I'm doing that, is there any question?
So there's some questions about how you use first draft. You were using it sort of like a synopsisizer, or just like a first attempt at the story, and then you imported it in to fill out the story Bible and create the synopsis?
Yeah, basically I did the, I needed, because I asked for something which start fairly quickly to catch the reader. And from the, you remember I got the chat. Let's go back into the original one. When I did here with all the question, so I asked this first, then I got information from Quick Chat, and I got some good deal in here. I could have brought that to inside the information, and I also put it inside that document and brought it inside of it. And then, but it wasn't what I was looking for. It was not, it didn't spark my intention to write this one. So that's why I went inside the first draft and got this one kicked in, and that one was more in my liking. Therefore, that's why I went and asked all the questions. So basically, I did go with the same question in 2 or 3 different places until I find the one that I really like the outcome. Then I can say, okay, I can do a story and I can develop that story that make it interesting.
So I think something to point out here is that you're showing us a particular path that you took through this system, but you're not really showing us a recipe for do it exactly the way that I did it. But
Yeah.
saying once you have something that sparks your interest, then here's what you do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, if the story doesn't spark my interest, I'm not going to keep going and work on it. So that's why I get the same question that I ask in 3 different places until I got the information I'm looking for. And if at that point I get nothing that I'm happy with, I will take all 3 together and go in ChatGPT or put everything inside a document like this and re-import inside Sudowrite and see what Sudowrite is going to come up with until I find something that really tickle my fancy to do that story. So this is the workflow when I have to write something that I have an idea, but you know, a roadblock. You don't have everything in your mind that you want. It says, okay, I need some help, and that's where that's how I develop my story with until I get the real spark to make me going. Make sense?
Yeah, no, the other question, I guess, is around how much of Story Bible are you trying to fill out, and possibly why versus first book, second book, third book, maybe.
Yeah, as I realized that with Sudowrite, when we have our story Bible well developed, it's like when you're a writer from the past with your pen and pencil and your little books, and we had our yellow sticky on the wall, and then says, okay, this is Lily's story, and Lily at the age she's she speak like this, and then you had your wall patched with yellow sticker, and then you remember those days? So this is the same thing here. Just make sure I have the right one here. Okay, so basically the story Bible here, this is my sticky wall, but I'm using it at the maximum as I can. So once I get my Emily Carter, I'm going to go in, she's my protagonist, I'm going to go and read everything until I'm pleased with the information, which tomorrow, this is what we're going to go deeper. I'm going to show you how to get these characters much more different from each other to make a story, sorry, to drive forward with very special character to make it go and make the twists and all kind of things fun with different character to make the story very, very, very fun. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to go very deep in those characters to see how they can manipulate it, the story with Sudowrite and those characters. So I do go and check every character as much as possible until I'm pleased, because I want those characters to be different. I don't want all of them to do the same thing. So I really want a lot of things, like want to know their fear, their quirks, their flaws. Then I like to have their evolution inside the story. So she's from solo mystery solver to a team leader. So how that character goes up. Any other
There's
question?
another question about how you got the custom fields in your character
All
description.
right, custom field. Right here in the character, you have that little gear inside the character box. You click on this, and that's where you can go and ask what is important to you for your character. This, at some point, I had, many of us had over 30 trait that we need for our character. So it used to be a lot bigger. Depending on what I'm doing for story, you can delete them, add more, like the date of birth, the way they talk, how they are in private, things like that. So this is how you add it. Basically, you just go in the bottom and you just say add, and you say what you want to know about your character for your story, or what it's important for the AI to know to make a good story. This is why it's very important to get your character well developed for the AI to actually give you a good story. So I hear a lot of people sometimes on Discord or other class, and it says, I don't understand why my story is so, it's not what I want, but and I'm listening, I'm not saying anything, but says, really, have you developed your character very well? Have you gone inside your world building and develop your world building so the AI knows what it needs to make the story? And then were you clear enough in your synopsis to where the story is supposed to go and the style and genre? So if you really understand how to get the AI to understand what you want by developing these things very, very well, is going to do it. And you're going to get a lot more story that you're going to say, oh my God, I really like my story. You fall in love with your story, and you are becoming working with the AI. It's not just the AI working the story. You are working with the AI to get that story to where you want it to be. So the AI is your helper and you work together. So this is how I work my story, because I'm very excited about my story. And like I said not long ago, my editor is getting very excited about my story because I learn to go and take my time and get inside these things and really tell the AI what I want. So this is really important to do.
Nice.
All right, same thing here for the world building. We have our information. So here we have some settings. So we know it's the high school library. We have setting of the high school library. Because of time wise, I won't have time to go and read all of it. We have the order of the literary guardian. So that's an organization. So the ancient keepers, the storyteller circle. So we have organization, we have lore, so library whispers. We have the notebook with the coded message. So it's a clue. So these are very important for that mystery story we have. So we have clues, we have symbols, so we have more than clues. So 1, 2, 3 clues, and we can add clues. Remember when I went into the previous one, I says, give me clues or handing, and from there you can go and copy the information that you have in the answer, you bring them inside here and says, all right, I have another clue. So you go and generate, you're looking for the clue and say, here's the clue, and then generate that clue. So it is there inside the story for you, for the AI to help you to write the story. So with what we have here, we could go and do the story, but my genre is in the other one, so is my style. So I'm going to just keep this one here to keep going, or maybe I should go in the first one to our day two. That's where we were here. So I could take everything from the other place and bring it over, but for the timing we have there, I will just keep everything on the other side because we have our character. When over here, I don't have any of my character. So for time's sakes, I'm going to take everything and go into the other one where I brought all the information in. But I'm going to get my genre and my style from here. So this part here, and that's mystery and mischief. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go in the one, nope, I got in the same one. I'm going to come here and I'm going to put this style over here in custom, and I'm going to pass the style in, which have 40 words. And here we have, that was mystery and mischief. So we could look, so we have mystery, middle grade fiction. We can leave it there. Maybe, yeah, why not? Adventure, I'm going to remove fantasy. I don't want fantasy too much. I don't want dragon to show up and all that stuff. I don't really want supernatural for that story if I want to keep it like in the Nancy Drew. Puzzle solving, yes. Friendship, curiosity, storytelling. And what was the last one that was on the other side? Mischief?
Mischief.
All right, so we want some mischief. So this is the genre, the style. We have the synopsis. With all the information we have now, because we have a different genre and things like that, we could ask to generate another synopsis and develop even more. That will, a lot of authors do that. They take the synopsis, add, change, or rewrite. So we're going to leave it as this because I'm pretty clear what I want in my style. My genre might be a bit too big. Normally, I like to keep it a lot smaller. We'll see what that's going to give us here. So let's get a small outline. Where's my outline? Oh, there's outline that I close it down. Okay, so when I did the importation, it did the outline. So the first thing is the secret in the stacks, which is basically like our title. So Emily Carter discovered the mysterious notebook in the library. So we know about that. There was the whispering in the library. Emily and Jimmy recruit their friend Milo, the tech expert, Tessa, the skeptical, and Ezra, the observant artist. So you can see the stuff that I did ask about different treat for each of my character are right here. So the tech, the skeptical, and the observant are right there inside the chapter 2. So they're going to be introduced there to help the investigating the mysterious box. The group discover the box contain what appears to be an ancient library catalog written in the same code as the notebook. Meanwhile, strange whispers continue to echo through the library and books begin to rearranging themselves. So there will be some kind of things going on. But like Nancy Drew, there's a lot of funky things happening in Nancy Drew. It says, oh, there's ghosts in the story, and at the end it's not ghosts, it's all kind of things that she can actually explain why it happened. So let's keep on going. So this is not a whole lot. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters. We can read all of them, but like I said, we are almost at the hours, and I don't want to overstep on too much of your time, and people are busy, so I want to get the first one to go. Yesterday, remember, I did take the whole outline and I exported into an Excel file and I brought it into one chapter book that was able to be written in one go. Today we'll try the different way. We'll just go because it's short. I will go and start this way by creating this first chapter. And here, like we have that information that we have. So is it linked to the stack? Well, it's kind of, it's linked because it came from there, but it's linked to the outline. Yeah, that's the first one. So is it connected to anything else? No, it's the first one. Most of you have seen that generate the first draft or generate 3 different opening or chat for some idea. Anyone tried this one yet? So this one is basically, I think you just click on it. I didn't start anything else. So is it going to work that way, or I have to get my scene first? I'm supposed to have my scene first. No, as soon as you get the scene, they disappear. So
You have to.
that's one way to work with. I'm going to, yeah, thank you very much for putting the document in. Thank you, John. So here we have, this is another way you can start a story with that new item here that generate 3 different opening. You can go and read them, but they don't give them in 3 different, oh yeah, they give them in different cards. And we have 2
They all
cards.
open and close with a single. The 3 cards are sort of connected together. They don't have a single prompt each.
But you can choose which one you want to start with. So we could start with one of those cards. Let me move my screen because I have that specify that read for me. Okay, so on the evening, Emily Carter decided to become a legend. The library was too quiet that even the dust moth seems to float in slow motion, afraid to touch down and make noise. She sat behind the reference desk, head bent over her homework, but her mind was elsewhere, scratching in the edge of the rumor that had electrified the 8th grade all month. Okay, so it's a kind of not bad starting. It's not mid-res. It's not extremely exciting. Some dialogue. No one's ever gotten in, Jimmy said, his voice pitched low. Not even the principal, Harrington. My mom said facility gave up and willed the hinges after the 3rd break-in. So it's a door, that door that we heard about in the outline and the synopsis. So Emily didn't understand. She was running her finger along the seams where her notebook cover was packed with notes and newsprint clipping. She still felt soft weight of the anonymous envelope that had arrived in the mail in her mailbox. Okay, so she received a letter in her mailbox. So it's a starting point here. Her hands each touched the map again. So she had a lot of information. That's a long opening on this one when the next one is a bit shorter. So the notebook was not there when Emily Carter did her usually post-lunch sweep at the stack. And this one is shorter by a little bit. So I'm going to put them in here so I can share them because we won't have time to read all of them. Let's get the first one. Sorry, go up and down. Try to get the bottoms I can bring in inside. So insert, that's number 1. Here we can get a bunch of stars. We can put the number 2. So that's another way to, I think that's number 3. So where's number 2? That's number 2. Okay. That's another way that Sudowrite give us access to start story. A lot of even Dahlia love to start story with the right button. Now she's having this that she can start 3 of those to start a story. How much we use here with that? So the tree use 7,228 credit, the auto, and that's using the Muse to create those 3 cards. So something to keep in mind, it's using Muse to do that. So that's one way to start your story. So we could go and read all of that. So let's share this part. I don't think we're going to end up with a story tonight, but that give you a workflow, and I will have a story by probably tomorrow that I will have share with you guys. So I will go and read all those things to see which one I like better to start my story, or simply just go and back into my outline and says, okay, none of those are interesting, but I don't want to throw them out in the garbage. I'm going to simply, and you can do an update too. That's another thing you can do. You can get one of those that you like, but even though it's not perfect, it's there, but something is missing, but it's a good start. You could go inside the outline, that's one here, and says, okay, there's some information in it. You can do an update of the chapter 1 inside your outline to add one of those cards to make it more or better or more sparky or whatever you're looking for the story. That's something you can do by using the update, and we'll update that. And then from the update, let's do it just for the fun of it. Even though we have the tree in there, just see what it's going to do. Now you can see when I go inside Sudowrite, I just go and play with it. So it's going to update. You can see it's going around like this. I'm going to read that again and says if I like it, then I will create this one and start writing with this one and get the story going and going. During that thing is going, for the people who has to go at the top of hour, I say thank you very much for being with me. We're going to keep going for the 30 minutes, I'm pretty sure of it, and we're going to answer question for people which has question outside this or inside that. And so I hope you learned something on the workflow. It's a bit a crazy workflow, but they're all different workflow on depending on which direction we're going in Sudowrite and what I'm writing about. And as you know, I'm writing a lot of young adult story. So as you can see here with the update of the information we got with those 3 cards, Sudowrite went and says, okay, let's update that chapter 1. So Minnie Carter, a detail-oriented student, discovered a mysterious notebook in the library during her shelving duties. So she's no longer there at the desk here. The notebook marked property of the order 1964. Well, this is more interesting to me. Now that's catching my my attention for a story. So this is what I'm looking for. The things which will make me excited about it. So now we have story and we have things from 1964 containing the coded message of strange symbol. Emily shared her finding with her friend Jimmy, and they investigated content in the library periodical vault. So there's a vault. They discovered that the notebook contained coordinate and code related to the library old wings, which is no longer existing. Oh, cool. Following clues from the notebook, Emily and Jimmy returned to the library after hours, used these code to unlock a padlock door leading to the old wing inside. They find a hidden cubby and secret, cubby. Yeah, thank you. And secret panel that lead to the tunnel. So this is the kind of things that I need to excite me and keep on going with my story. So now they come back later that night with Jimmy to break into the library staff room using another code from the notebook. Now I'm excited. I want to write this. So now this is what I'm talking about when I'm excited and I want it. So I'm going to get under the update to take this one here, and I'm going to create the new one. So the old one's still up there, but I want a new one, and the other one I will unlink it. So create this one. Sorry. Now we have the one I'm looking for. So this one here will make sure it's no longer a link. It's not linked. Does it see? It's not linked. So we're good. If I miss something, John, let me know because I don't see it's linked to anything. We should be fine.
I think you got it, yeah.
All right. So now we have this. This is the secret, blah, blah, blah. That's what I want. It's connected to the outline. I'm not going to use any of those. I want to get my scene. Now I want to get into the juice of my story. So I'm going to generate my scenes. Today, something Michael said during the session today says this will, is it attached at all to generate the scene?
I don't think so.
So the scene it's something which is basically locked into one model, right?
Yeah, like generate beats was.
Okay. So good. I wanted to make sure that I understood that part.
But I didn't see what Mike said today, so
Okay.
I'll
One
send-
thing that I really like is when they're doing the scene, is telling you is looking at the style, the genre, the world building, the synopsis, the outline, so we can see what is doing. The best practice in the scene review. This is interesting because now it's working and says now the perfect formatting of our scenes. Now, Muse is a lot on the fiction. So if we were to use Muse, yesterday we used Muse at 10, which was giving a lot of information, a lot of freedom to Muse to imagine what's going on in our mid-god story. Today I want something which is more down to earth. I will not use 10. I will go and leave it at 7 to see what kind of story will come out, or again using excellent. Doing this here. Do we have any question?
There's just a question about does Muse, is it always Muse that does scenes? It's either Muse or it's 3.7. It's one of the other.
Yeah, I don't think it's Muse. For what I understand today, with Michael said, it's not Muse who's doing the scene, but I might be wrong. So here we go. We have 5 scenes. That's going to be interesting to write that. So 5 scenes, and we know that he's using Emily in the first scene, so she's here, and then at some point Jimmy is coming in. So we have Emily and Jimmy in the first scene. Yes, John.
I was just noticing that it's underlining your characters that exist.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells us that it's going to be able to refer to those character cards.
Yeah, our character we have here, they are the one that they show us that's going to be in here. So take your time, go in and check. So we know that she's Emily Carter shelves the books in the library fiction after school, finding a one-letter notebook wedged behind a row of classic. The notebook is marked with property of the order of 1964. So sorry, I'm going to drink some water. Sorry about that. So this part is about the book, also talking about appear to be a cipher key. So that's going to be an interesting story to work it out and make sure it's really catching the young reader too. So I see what I see here, I like it. The second scene, she's Emily and Jimmy huddle in the library periodical vault the next afternoon. Okay, so that's changing from the outline, which seems to be all in the same day. In here, he changed and put it into the next afternoon. Hunch over the mysterious notebook, Jamie pull out the magnifying glasses, homemade UV light, while Emily spread out library blueprint she borrowed from the reference section. They work methodically to decode the symbols, with Jimmy sketching copy of the strange making. These coordinate. So that's going to be that. I'm going to read a bit faster here, but that the wing doesn't exist anymore. It was sealed during the renovation in the 80s. Okay, Emily's eyes light up as she flipped the page in specific cipher. Look at this. It's a key to a padlock. All right. So we're going to have some interesting information here in scene number 2. Emily meticulously note-taking versus Jimmy improvising, sketching, and tinkering with small tools to pull from his pocket. So he's the one who's doing all kind of little tricks. I think it's the, if I remember, is he has a door, a lock picker. So he can open doors with his lock picker. That night, Emily and Jimmy sneak into the darkness of the library through the basement, delivering entrance using the service key Emily borrowed from the janitor office. So they are sneaky. So Emily clutched the notebook. They whisper direction as Jimmy follow with it in his backpack with his tool. They reached a section of wall covered with a large bookcase. According to the notebook, the entrance should be right here, Emily murmured. Jimmy pushed the bookcase, revealing a padlock door. Emily consulted the notebook carefully, turning the combination lock. There's supposed to be a key. Now it's a combination lock. Are they going to do that? A padlock and combination lock. Okay. We're going to see how they're going to work this one out. We may have some editing to do. Now they get inside the dusty corridor sealed off old wings. Their flashlight reveal cobweb, abandoned shelf, and thick layer of dust covering everything. In one corner, Emily spot a small cubby built into the shelving. Inside a wooden box contain an old photograph of the library construction and a small brass key. So now we have another key. Jimmy noticed a section of the wall that sounds hollow when tapped. He pressed various spots until the panels slide open, revealing a narrow tunnel sloping downwards. So that's going to be interesting. I like that. Emily and Jimmy crawl through the narrow tunnel, their flashlight creating hairy shadow on the brick wall. The air grows cooler and damper. All right, so seek the next clue. Emily photograph. We need to go back. Emily whisper. I think I know where to look next. So we have a very interesting story developing here. Shortly after the midnight, Emily and Jimmy return to the library. This time, they head directly to the staff room door. Jimmy pulled out his lock-picking tool with Emily consulting the notebook's second cipher. So we have a very interesting story here.
It still feels like these are chapter length scenes,
Kind
right?
of, yeah. I wonder, it's not going to be a short book. So how would we, that's where you have to make the decision of what kind of book you want to write about and what you want to put in the extra instruction. So for that, I'm going to go back in my style here. I want to make sure what I have. So mystery, it's very important for my book. First, do you want it at the first person, the third person, present, past, and all those information? I'm a person who loves to write at the first person, at the present tense. I find that that engage my reader. So mystery, slowly. I don't want to put that up because it's already here. But this is one that I really like to have. I'm going to bring that inside this here. So I'm going to say that I like pretty much everything I have here on a quick note to write a story fast like this inside an hour. It's almost impossible, but for what I saw, I like it. So what I'm going to do here, I want to make sure it's character driven, heavy dialogue driven, and easy to read out loud. Now, what do I want? Who do I want to tell the story? So I like at the first person POV, and I love present tense. I can also, the same way that I did all the other stuff before, I can also do the change it as I go. Says, okay, I don't like it. I'm going to change the tense. I just basically duplicate and change the information until I get what I like and go from there. So let's see what we get here. We're going to use Muse at 7, recommended to try, and then I will try with excellent. Any question or people have to drop off and all that during we ask for the first chapter to write?
I think Bruce was thinking that he was worried that the scenes generation was the writing generation, but it's not.
Okay. So here it says the first chapter should be about 3,000 to 5,000 words. Credit-wise, between 14 to 20,000. I just drop off the 100 at the end in the credit. It says everything looks good. The library treasure hunt is nicely mapped out. Okay, so no green or no rewrite. It seems to be happy. So let's see what's going to happen with this. Let's generate our first scene. And during that time, you can ask question or unmute and talk. What do you think so far of this different workflow?
I'm looking at it thinking it's going to write a lot. I mean, how many chapters of this size do we have in the?
That one has 5. Is it 5 that we have?
How many chapters?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 chapters.
Okay.
So it's not going to be a huge book, but
No,
definitely not the same way that I used yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's a different workflow. Correct. Scenes raw upon use. Okay.
Nor points out that what the process is nonlinear.
Yeah, it's back and forth. Yeah, exactly that. Nor I use the chat as a partner in writing and go back and forth until I have what I want. And you won't see any of my book going out until I'm happy with it. And things that I see today from the very first book I wrote, sometimes I have to keep my hands tied together and says I really like to rewrite number 1 because now I know I can see all the little things that could be changed. And maybe one day I will just get the second edition of book 1 all the way to book 5. I think that I really like to rewrite those. But then I have to do my 52 books first, and then after that I will get my second edition. But I'm sure at some point I will have people says, yeah, from book number 1 to book 52, it was like we can see the evolution. Yes, it's 52 books, Victor. And I'm on book 9 has been uploaded onto KDP, and I'm finishing book 15 for my editor to, yeah, 365 story, like John said. All right, here we have the same thing than yesterday. Scene 1 has been written. It seemed to be interesting, but it stopped at scene 1. So I will go and switch that on. And I was asked to keep going and do the scene number 2. And hopefully it's going to keep on going. For the sake of time, I'm not going to stop and read everything, but I will go back when it starts writing here. That's kind of funny because when you write, because he removed the first part, which is 1,000. Yeah, so okay. Generate and see how this one started. So scene 1, the shelving, the north-south section of fiction after school should be exercised in pure monotony. I can practically alphabetize in my sleep, but it's not because every time I pass the 4th row, I swear the book have rearranged themselves. I'm not talking about a usually disarray you get from student who treats Melville Dewey secret system like an abstract art. I mean the spine slide together so perfectly, the gap so evenly distribute that it's look deliberate, mathematical, as if some unseen hand is nudging everything into order. Just before I get there, I appreciate the fellow neat freak, but I like to meet these competitors so I can shake their hands or call them out, either way. So I like the sense of humor. It's important in my story. I like to see those sense of humor. And even though I slide this in, Muse is having that thing that it stop at every scene. That's something I'm going to let them know, that even if we slide it on, it keeps stopping. Or I don't think he wrote it. 3,000 words. Did he wrote the whole thing? Hold on. Scene one. Let's get scene photo. So scene one. What is missing here? Something is not right.
I think it only did scene one.
But I asked to write scene two, he didn't write it? Did he write scene one twice?
Mm-mm.
Because he stopped at 1,000 words. Remember the first one was 1,000 and some words. It says, okay, he started that and he says he had 2,000 words left to write. But why I don't see scene two? So scene one was at, hold on.
Do a
I'm going to highlight until I get the 1,090 words was about.
you could search for scene.
I know I cannot see the second scene. That's why I highlight. See, it stopped around here. Scene number two is not even written. So
Yes.
that's scene number two right there.
Whenever I'm kicking off a new thing now, I put scene in because half the time it doesn't write it for you.
Okay, so here that's something that you guys can learn about that is it stop at scene two. So we have, I don't think any other scene is there. So, and now that's a bit confusing because we don't know if we actually just stop there. So that would be scene three here. So, oh boy, I don't know what to write anymore. Hold on here. Scene three, and I'm going to enter, and I'm going to go back again and ask to go and write scene three. Okay, a little glitch that we're going to let them know about, which make things a lot longer, and I have to go and you have to click twice, so generate. So now we should have scene three to start. We like to have a whole chapter written, but it's going to take forever because we have to do scene by scene like that. So the official library closed at 8. You grin and return this company. Lock click. Lower let Jamie first speak. The very forgotten. He shrug never hurts. Okay. We have 4,000 words. And on scene number 3. And we have 5 scenes. So we're going to have more words than they describe at the start, right?
Right.
Yeah. I will do the same thing, but I'm going to use excellent and get the same information, but duplicate and ask excellent to rewrite this in one shot and see the difference between the two. Oh, scene 4. So now it keep going.
Now it's going again.
The new chamber is barely a room, more like a niche act from the bone of an old building. The air change the second we tumble inside, and I get a sense of pressure like something vast is resting overhead. Jimmy coughed, his breath fogging in the flashlight beam. That's cute. What is George R.R. and Martin and Patrick Rufus D? Or is that the happy face?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, thanks. All right, so I think it finished. So we have scene number 5. So we had the 3 first scene, we had to go one after the other, and then after that it did the rest of them. And we have 6,625. Is that funny? All right, so
I think if you do this at 3.7, you're going to have about 20,000
yeah.
or 15,000.
So I shared this inside so you can read at it. I'm going to duplicate and ask the same thing, but with excellent. So everything is back here. I'm going to highlight everything underneath, delete, I'm going to take the mode. I'm going to turn it to excellent. I know we have new model too. We have Opus, which I've been told is extremely expensive.
It's extremely expensive. I spent a $250,000 to get
What's
or
about Sonnet
get the
4? I never used
14,000.
that one.
Yeah. Sonnet's very nice. It's about 50,000 to get to about 12,000 words. And then Sonnet 3.7 takes me to 24 to 27,000, or about the anywhere from 60,000 to 100,000 credits.
Okay. So I can try them for the fun of it and see the difference. What's about ChatGPT 03?
I can't get that to do more than one scene at a time.
Okay, that's another one.
And then Gemini Pro 2.5 also writes kind of short and does one scene at a time. I have a Mega Write plugin that will write from your chapters in your outline and will write as much as it can. So it does like 8,000 or so at a spate. But then it'll continue and just write the whole thing in one document. And Gemini is cheaper, yes.
Okay, so
Opus is very expensive.
I'm going to get this one to start with excellent and see what is going to give us in numbers from so 5 to 7, 18 to 26,000 credits. So everything looks good like the first one. So you see the difference between Muse at 7 and excellent. How that go? And like I said, that you can stay with me and John as long as you want. I'm going to get those story done in probably another or two other mode and share them inside the document so you'll be able to read them. And I will get the video uploaded by probably tomorrow morning. It should be on the YouTube, which also you have the link inside the document. So I can see the map coordinate went through. So how do you start this one? I slide the last copy of the Secret Garden into its proper place between Burnett. Author works my finger automatically checking that the spine aligned perfectly with the others. After 3 years of volunteering at the library, I've developed what Miss Anderson calls an unhealthy obsession with alphabetical order, but I prefer to think it as attention to details, the kind that help you notice when things are out of place, like the letter notebook currently wedged behind the row of classic I'm organizing. I pause, my hands still resting on Burnett's spine, and peer into the narrow gap between the shelf and the wall. The notebook corner poke out just enough to catch my eye. Dark brown leather worn smooth at the edge. My pulse quickened the way it always does when I stumble across something that doesn't belong. And it stopped even though I did put it on continue. So maybe a little glitch going on with all the new things they try. And yesterday things were, oh, okay, it stopped. It didn't finish scene 2. That's one thing I find out with excellent. It does that quite a bit. So be patient, people, when you do use excellent and it doesn't finish. And I don't like the way it continued things either. So I'm going to put my star over here. So I have something. I'm going to leave my cursor here and I'm going to go at scene number 2 where it's supposed to continue and see if it's going to catch up. What it's going to do here is going to start scene 2 or is going to keep going after Jamie slide the notebook toward.
I think it has to do with like how much extra. This looks like it just continues.
Yeah, I continue. Good. The other story that I did yesterday, which is 60,000 words, I kind of am halfway editing that story, and 3 or 4 of the chapter did like this, stop in the middle, and somehow it restart. So I have like 25. I was listening to it and it says, then I hear it restart, says, oh my God, there's a loophole, a looping again. And I went inside when I was looking at it, says, oh no, it is 25, not finished. And then it restart 25 again, then it finished that one. So it happened 3 times, if it's not 4 times, in a 60,000 book story. But the story is very, very good about those demigod written in one shot. I'm amazed for all the work I did put inside of it with all my characters. Just those 5 characters that we stayed and staged and asked exactly how to be written. I'm very pleased with the result of that story from yesterday class.
Good.
So it seems like it doesn't stop anymore. Just thinking. Scene number 4. The tunnel forced us to crawl on hands and knees, our flashlight creating a narrow cone of visibility that make the brick wall seems to press closer with each forward movement. My knee already ache against the the rough stone floor, and I can hear Jimmy backpack scratching against the tunnel ceiling behind me. The space feels designed for someone smaller than modern teenager, or perhaps built in an era when people were generally shorter. So when from one that we read earlier and from the outline, you can see that it kind of stick to the story, just written in a different tone, a bit of different style, but still with a bit of sense of humor that I'm looking for. This one seems a bit smoother than what Muse kicked out earlier. So, but I like to see the difference between and be able to sometimes kick bashing between those chapters and see which one will make the story more fun for my reader. And we have 6,842 words. And it finished here. We have scene number 5. Check out, make sure you finish all the way to the end. Not when something in the dark below has been waiting 6 years to call my name. So from 6842 to 6625 with Muse 7. So who wants to tell me what's the third one we're going to try?
Try 3.7.
3.7.
Yeah, I think I'm happier with, I mean, it's like the opus is amazing. It's nice, but it's still kind of short, which might work for something like this. But I also feel like your chapters could be chapter worthy. So
this one, or are we going to try something more?
the 3/7 sonnet, yeah,
All
that
right.
might longer than anything else right now.
All right, so we're going to get this one to go. And this is not something that I do all the time, but because we are in a classroom setting and I want you guys to see the difference without you having to use your credit by using everything the same on top and just changing the model, what kind of information you get. It's just for you guys to have that pleasure to see the difference between the model. My chapter 1, though, I'm very at it. I always do my chapter 1 many times until I get exactly what I want. And when I got what I want in the proper everything, that's where I can go and says, okay, chapter 2 is going to be based on this, and obviously work chapter 2. But I don't have to do chapter 2 10 times like I did chapter 1, because chapter 1 is the one that I make sure that I have the amount of dialogue I want, twist, fun, quirky, whatever I want in my chapter 1 that I want to see across the book on different levels. So my chapter 1 is the one I'm going to do many times before I'm happy with the result and get that result to a point that it's spread across all my chapters. But some of my book have many chapter 2. I can have sometimes 2 or 3 chapter 2. Chapter 3 can go perfectly fine in one shot, and chapter 4 needs to be done twice. So, but as we know more and more and practice a lot more with Sudowrite, we get to a point that our workflow is pretty good. You don't have to go sequentially, right? No, you don't have to. You can skip chapter. You can. One thing that I used to do in the past when I did a story, which I didn't know because we were doing classes and we had to do some things that was outside of my box or my genre. So I have no idea what we're going to teach today. And then we got a story. Don't know anything about the story. So it says, okay. And in those days, we were able to write a lot more faster because we had a lot less toys that we have today. So today we take a lot more time, but we do have much better result. But anyway, in those days, I was doing chapter 1. Then I was going in the right smack in the middle. And I was doing the last chapter or the chapter before last. So I knew how the book start, what was happening in the middle, and how it finished. And from there, I was able to go says, okay, I like the story or I don't like the story. I need to change things or I don't like to. So I always had the 3 chapter to tell me how the book is written. So I used to do that in the past. How about you, John?
I have a tendency to write it all in one go. The other thing that I do is I'll use flashbacks to write, say, a prologue.
Mm-hmm.
After I've written the entire thing, I look at the beginning, I say it's not grabbing me. I don't have a reader hook really, but I want a prologue that's going to do that. And so you can use sort of flashback and that kind of stuff to both feed it all of what you have written so far and to give it some context as to where those parts lie in the story. I haven't really messed around with it too much, but one of the things I thought about doing is making a copy of the outline into a document and then just expanding a chapter at a time. So like select the chapter from anywhere in the document and hit expand, and it will be able to sort of fit it in within the 2 chapters above and below it. And if it's not long enough, just sort of find the chunks that need more expanding and play with it that way. And that might be a fun way to go. But using the flashback, so like you've written the entire thing, but you want a prologue that sets up everything. So you want it to have the context of the entire book, but you want it to write it for the prologue. You can at the bottom say flashback to prologue, and then you put your prompt for the prologue and have it write the scene for that.
Still writing at 6,007,
Yeah, I think you're on the second
6,787.
chapter. I think you're on the second scene now.
Okay, so just no, I think it's almost finished writing. So if it's,
I think you're on the second scene.
I saw scene 4 going by.
Did you? I did.
Yeah,
There.
right
You're
there.
right. Okay.
4.
4, and
He's
then
doing 5 right now. So we're going to have in the 7. That one will be longer, the other one. But I went down to the outline because what John is talking about, because I know exactly what he's talking about. But now we also have this part here where you can add a prologue and you can add a after your book is written, or if you say something is missing for my reader, chapter 1 is starting too fast, we need some explanation, then you can add a prologue. So I just don't want to do it because he's still writing. Because as soon as I do something, it's going to stop writing or it's going to tell me the AI is busy, so I don't want to touch it and get everything. But we can tell here we have a lot more words in the 3.7.
Yeah.
Now we have 9,000 words, so and he's still writing.
Well, that's what I was saying. I'm looking at those scenes, and they felt like they were big, but it didn't get to the end of your book. So
Because it's only chapter 1.
I know, but the scenes themselves felt big. Like they felt like they would be a chapter in and of themselves. It
Yeah,
just
each scene could have been a chapter, yeah, in a way. So the way I was working yesterday to take everything, put the whole outline and bring it into an Excel file and bring it back in and put everything in one shot in all my scene. I could have done that today too. It's probably something I will do a bit later and people can have fun looking at it. Sorry, guys. So this is a very long chapter, 10,288 words. Most likely it's way too long for a chapter for a young adult or children. We have to probably get all those scenes, put them inside my vellum and see the length of the chapter because I know how much they can read before they get, okay, I have to go play or have some homework or it's time for dinner. So how much time they have for reading chapter by chapter because they like to finish their chapter before they do something else. So normally a chapter is in the two.
Look how your scenes look. I think your scenes wrap up like chapters. Go do a search for scene and read.
So I'm going in, I tell Jimmy, and behind the crawl, I begin to crawl forwards into the unknown darkness. Yeah.
That's like the end of a chapter, right?
Yeah.
So your scenes here could be a chapter. The question is, how many chapters more do you need for this one story? Do you need 5 times 5? Is it gonna have 25 chapters in this thing?
No, there's so it's supposed to be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You remember that we did update the first one.
Yeah.
And then
Betty's right. It's like a cliffhanger on the next chapter, which is perfect. I like working with Sonnet 3.7. I like the way it wraps up its chapters.
Yeah, exactly. So if I was using 3.7 to do that book, I will know that I have to get my chapter differently. So this is not a chapter. It will be like 5 chapter in here, 3 to 5 chapter. And with this here, if I was to go and do says, okay, we get this one, we create it, chapter 2. Very important that it's going to be link. So we know it's that one, it's inside our outline and it's going to be linked to the good one, which is basically this one. Or I can link into any of them to say continue, but it's going to base on the story that I'm choosing to write the second version or the second chapter, which we know now it's probably will be chapter 5 or 6 of the book because it's really long over here. So I did share, I share number 2, which was written with excellent. I'm going to make sure it's in the chat so you can look at it. I will also put them in the note after the class is done. I will send that in the note so you can read it and give me your feedback on that. And this one, which we know is a lot longer, you can also read it. It's interesting to read them because then you can see how much the AI advance when we give it all the information in a proper way, getting our time and character and a world building, a good synopsis, and check the outline that everything is in the right timeline. I'm really impressed with the result when we take our time to do so. So on this, we're almost 2 hours together, and I know I'm going to have a hard time with that video because it's going to tell me it's too long. So let's, I'm going to switch my things here so we can do this. So I want to say thank you for all of you to be with me. My name is Manon Doucet. I love writing for middle grade and young reader. So, and young adult. So as you can see, I can go long. I spend my day writing. It's not a lie. I get up in the morning, I sit at the computer, I write, I do a few things, I eat, I come back, I write, I go visit my dad, I speak about all my story with my father, come back here, I write, I listen to my story. I'm in Speechify. I take all my story in Speechify. I listen to them in the car and I take notes. Something it doesn't ring right, I take note and I come back at my office, I fix it. So I'm always in my story, almost like 24/7. So, and I want to also say thank you to John Crescent to be with me as my co-host. I will not be able to do those class without you, John. It's so much easier when you're there.
Thank you.
So I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to share all that stuff on my YouTube and the notes, and I will put it inside middle grade and probably under the young adult if we have that in Discord, so you can access it. And then after the recording, we can stop and chat. We can be like a big family and have fun and chat a little bit for the next 10 minutes. And then let's do that. So I hope you enjoyed this class. And tomorrow we're going to go deeper on how to get those characters to go forward in our story. So it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow into developing our character to get the story to go and advance to what we want.
Come take a journey, step inside, where stories bloom and hearts collide. From French cafes to Spanish skies, we write the world, no need to hide. Muse is calling loud and clear, in every voice, in every sphere. By your side, let Sudowrite be your magic guide. No borders, no walls, just rhythm and rhyme, writing in every language, one line at a time. From Berlin dreams to Rome's old stone, with moves in your hands, you're never alone. So dive in deep, your words be free. This is your global symphony. Custom prompts and secret hacks, we find to muse and never look back. In German journals or tales in French, we spark the fire, no need to quench. Write with flair, with truth, with soul. In every tongue you'll feel whole. Sudowrite's the key, just take the chance and let your voice begin to dance. Oh, dark, no borders, no walls, just rhythm and rhyme, writing in every language, one line at a time. From Tokyo lights to Chile's breeze, we're crafting dreams with creative ease. So dive in deep, let your words be free. This is your global symphony. Écris ton rêve, cuenta tu historia, beschreib